Good morning. My name is Stephen Sporn. I'm a PM on the PSA team, and today I'm going to talk to you a little bit about how we use PSA inside of Microsoft. Some of the projects that we run internally are fairly large, and hoping to give you some insights to some of the challenges that we've experienced with that. And towards the end, I want to tie it back to some of the announcements that were made on Monday, and encourage you to join us on a session tomorrow that we're going to extend on that. So what is PSA? PSA is an end-to-end solution for project management, all the way from quote all the way through to customer billing. You can create estimates, resource scheduling, work breakdown structures, fixed price, time materials type billing, and all consolidated on top of the Dynamics 365 platform. Within Microsoft, we have a tool called Microsoft OneMap. Microsoft OneMap is a tool used by our business operations team to consolidate all the launches that Microsoft does. You can appreciate Microsoft has around 500 product launches they do a year, and about 1,000 people that are managing those. And so we back that by building out a solution on PSA, which consolidates all the taxonomy across all of our business units. And I'm going to take you into a little bit of detail, show you a little bit of an architecture, and then how we got to putting this in place. So where were we from? Well, before we had PSA in place, we had about 20 tools doing this function within Microsoft. It was fairly disparate. Teams were on their own, and there was a lot of conflict when it came to launch. Timings of launches weren't happening correctly. The messaging to the market, partner readiness wasn't correct, and there was a bunch of problems that we were dealing with. And the operations team looked at this and said, how do we solve this? How do we bring everybody together in a way that ensures governance and control, but gives them the flexibility to still run their projects in the way they need to at a foundational level? So there were two problems we were trying to address. One was managing the pipeline of incoming projects, and the other problem was how to do an all-up portfolio management. How do we surface that information to the senior leadership team in a way that's consumable and marry back to the KPIs that were driving the strategy of Microsoft. So our components in the design resulted in PSA being deployed. We utilized SharePoint to do traditional support and document management that we brought back in. Master data management services allowed us to consolidate from any external systems all the data that we needed, which regards to progressing externally things like taxonomy. So what one team was referring to as a project task wasn't necessarily the same thing at the same level as another team, and it was a lot of complex mapping that had to happen there. And so we really had to drive to a common standard on the master data side. The D365 platform allowed us to do the project management through PSA and Power BI for dashboarding and portfolio management. And on the right-hand side, we enabled a lot of self-service through Power BI, Excel, and managed reporting, all built on Azure's data warehouse. So what was the value? Well, as I mentioned, we wanted to try and manage the intake pipeline to make it faster and more efficient. So we created a landing page which allowed customers to come in and spin up their projects. We wanted to be able to provide a launch portfolio oversight to the managing teams above that, so they could understand where things were coming from, which teams, and create the dependency trees. And then capacity planning, ensuring that all the dependent services were ready and willing and understanding about what was coming down the pipeline. And then managing towards an accurate target date. So the project highlights. We retired 20 plus tools. We moved to an enterprise level platform for the solution, and over 50 reports supporting the org, the teams and portfolios, and over 500 project edits per month. So this is a fairly large deployment. Unfortunately, due to the nature of the type of work this is, I couldn't actually show you a demo of it because it's all live data. But has it to say, I've got another slide now that will talk a little bit about the learnings. When we were consolidating this 20 plus tools, it was really around a forcing function on change management within those teams. We learned a lot around how different teams run projects, what the definition is of agile to each individual team, how do we bring that in together, and it was quite a complex task. The decentralized model for managing portfolios was useful. It hurt us and it helped us. It helped us in the sense that we could bring in modules or areas of the business over time as opposed to doing it as a lift and shift. But it also meant that the first guys that came over tended to set the rules, and the guys that came over at the end tended to suffer. And so that was kind of the hurt part. The lack of clarity around core portfolio pivots hurt progress. So each team was managing progress around their portfolio in a different way and understanding the KPIs in a different way, and getting consolidation across that around a large organization like Microsoft was extremely difficult. That coupled with move to the cloud and the business model changes that were coming through, there were a lot of disruption. And so we had to stay in lockstep with what the business drivers were at the top, and then really spend a lot of time communicating and educating those project teams on the ground. Data quality has been the biggest challenge. As I mentioned, project task level data can mean something very lightweight to some people, sort of like a planner. I just need to do these 5 tasks. If you compare that to somebody who's a typical PM, where they really try and consolidate, internally have rules around maybe I don't want to create a task that's longer than 8 hours, all the way up to other people that just, I'm going to do something for the next month. And getting parity on that across everybody was extremely difficult. And then the data behind that and ensuring that the data married up was difficult so that we could ensure the reporting was accurate. So where are we going next? Well, we launched on, sorry, we didn't launch. We announced on Monday that PSA is working very closely with the Microsoft project team around the new products that we're bringing to market next year. And so one of those products is a product called Roadmap. So ironically, our next step, excuse me, with regards to OneMap is to implement Roadmap. Roadmap allows us to create that consolidated view at many different levels, down at the departmental level, all the way up to divisional leads. We can create specific key dates and bring in data from different project sources, including VSTS, Microsoft Project, PSA, and consolidate that data all up into these roadmaps. And so we're pretty excited about this capability. This is something we're investigating and we're going to be deploying throughout Microsoft. And something we want to talk about tomorrow, we have a more deep dive into PSA and the understanding of PSA and how that works with this. But I can have it to say that what's really important to understand about the announcement around Monday was that a project is going to be built on the CDS. It is being built on the CDS. And what that means is that access to data from a business entity perspective is there now. So all the pain that I experience with the partners around usability when it comes to that PM experience, we hope to resolve through this model. So you're going to have a scenario where the project manager and the project accountant are accessing the same data, and they're doing it through a window that is optimized for their role. The project manager experience is going to be far superior, and there's a bunch of benefits we see there. So I really do encourage you to come and talk to us tomorrow about that. We have a good session. I wanted to open the floor and ask any, if there were any questions or if you had any, feedback yourselves around this. Like I said, when I share data from internally in Microsoft, it's quite tricky, just in terms of how we run projects. But I did want to show some of the stuff that we're doing to give a sense of where PSA was utilized. Sure. Oh, right. So we had 1,000 PMs working on it. This is across all of Microsoft products. So whenever the team that runs this effectively runs all the SKUs in Microsoft, so in order to create a SKU, they have to go through this process, and we take them through an onboarding project that launches into this, and it's all surfaced through the Dynamics portal. I'll take you back to the architecture. So the Dynamics portal is consolidating that view. Great. Any questions? Anything else? I'm super excited about our announcements, and I hope you guys take a look at it. So, thanks for your time.